Once upon a time, there was a big kingdom in the southern Sierra Leone named Azazel Kingdom. It was surrounded by a beautiful forest and the river. The kingdom had a great king. He was loved by his people in his land. He was King Edward. He only lived with his two beautiful daughters and the royal soldiers. As the time passed by, his throne was about ended. The king had to decide who would be the rule of this kingdom as soon as possible. However, the kingdom had old rules. One of them was only king's descendant who would be the king of this kingdom. Therefore, the king broke the rules because there was not a man in his descendants until he chose one of the soldiers there.
This year, my throne is coming to an end, but none of my descendants can replace my position.
King Edward asked for an advice to the counselor about it. He advised that there was one of his soldiers who were wise and had enough ability to replace his position. King Edward had to talk to a soldier named Richard to discuss this.
Oh, King Edward, there must be something you want to ask for. I'm ready to serve you. What can I do for you?
The period of my throne this year coming to an end. As you know that my family, none else can take my place. After considered by the rulers of this kingdom, I have decided that you will be the king in this kingdom.
Does it not violate the rules, my king?
There is one condition you must obey.
What is it, my king?
You are forbidden to fall in love with the king's descendant because you are not our descendant.
Soon, King Edward announced this news to the people. The people sought to disagree, but King Edward explained that this decision firmly and wisely. After a long time, Richard became a king. He led the kingdom very well, until one day he saw Princess Josephine walking around in the palace's garden alone. King Richard, who saw Princess Josephine, was attracted by her beauty and elegance. He walked and approached Princess Josephine.
What are you doing alone, princess?
What are you doing here, my King Richard?
I was walking around looking at every side of the palace, and I saw you standing alone here.
Oh yes, my king. This is the only place that I love in the palace. Quiet, peaceful, and beautiful. I often spend time here.
Indeed, this place is suitable for you. I have no wonder if you like this place because it is as beautiful as your face.
The words of King Richard amazed Princess Josephine and attracted her. Day by day, they often met in the same place since the beginning of their meeting. Sometimes they drank tea together in the park, until one day King Edward realized something was wrong between King Richard and Princess Josephine. King Edward asked King Richard about their closeness.
The garden is beautiful, isn't it?
Indeed, it's very beautiful, my lord.
My little daughter really loves this park.
Is that true?
Do you still remember the condition we agreed upon?
Yes, my lord.
King Richard understood and obeyed King Edward's request. Since that day, their relationship became tenuous. They both kept their distance. That night, King Richard and Princess Josephine met in the palace corridor.
Why didn't you come in here this afternoon?
It's nothing.
I'll meet you tomorrow in the lake.
They planned to meet at the lake near the palace.
I don't know what's going on, but you're acting like you normally don't. You look like you're trying to stay away from me.
Perhaps that's just a feeling.
Okay, look. I don't know what happened to me and you. We have been together for too long, and we are.
King Richard interrupted Princess Josephine's words and held her hand.
Hey, listen. There's nothing you need to worry about. It's only a matter of time. Everything that I do is for me and you.
What are you talking about?
King Richard tidied a strand of hair of Princess Josephine that fell down, blocking her eyes. Then he leaned closer to Princess Josephine.
I love you.
He kissed Princess Josephine passionately. They talked about their relationship until it was known by King Edward, who got the information from the soldiers who were ordered by King Edward to watch over him. King Edward, who knew this, was angry and punished King Richard and Princess Josephine.
Why do you do it to me?
This is your punishment for loving a soldier.
He is the king, father.
No, he's a soldier. Stay here. This is embarrassing. How could you forget your promise, soldier?
I apologize, my lord.
King Richard felt this relationship was worth the fight. One night, King Richard went quietly to meet Princess Josephine with the help of her servant.
What are you doing here? It's dangerous.
Nurse Lucy, help me out to come here. I want to tell you something.
What is it? Just tell me.
I feel like this love is worth it to be fought. I just can't stay without doing anything. Would you like, to spend your life forever with me?
Oh my goodness. This is the best request I've ever heard of in my life. I would love to.
Knowing that, Princess Josephine was very happy. Princess Josephine immediately told Nurse Lucy about it to help her get out of the palace with King Richard and get married. Every night, King Richard met Princess Josephine in her room, until one day, Princess Josephine was pregnant. Day by day, Princess Josephine's belly grew bigger. It made Princess Catherine wondering what was happening to Princess Josephine.
Nurse Lucy,
Yes, my lady.
what's wrong with my sister Josephine?
It is nothing wrong with her, Princess Catherine.
Don't you lie to me. Tell me what's going on. She is my sister.
Can you keep this secret? She has passed a lot of hard time. She fights for her love with King Richard. I am a witness of their love story. I can't let them suffer anymore. But I just can't do it.
Is she pregnant?
Yes, she is. I'm afraid King Edward will know about it.
Nurse Lucy told Princess Josephine that Princess Catherine was very surprised at that and worried about Princess Josephine. Their conversation was heard by the soldier assigned to watch over Princess Josephine. King Edward, who found out about it, was very angry and talked to King Richard and Princess Josephine.
What does all this mean? This cannot be tolerated.
King Edward brought Princess Josephine and King Richard to a different place. King Richard was interrogated by King Edward about it.
How could you do that? You've crossed the line. I can't let it anymore.
I apologize, my lord. I love your little daughter so much. I just can't let her go.
King Edward was furious and taught him to death by shooting into his body. Princess Josephine and Nurse Lucy were being exiled to an area where no one was there.
Where is King Richard, father?
You can't see him anymore.
What are you talking about? Wait, who is that? Don't tell me it's him. Father, please.
King Edward told her that King Richard was dead. Princess Josephine was devastated knowing that. After that incident, the kingdom of Azazel was reled by King Edward. After 15 years, There lived a beautiful and brave girl in an area where no one even knew about that place. She was Arundel. She lived with her beautiful and kind mother and aunt. Arundel had no friends except the animals there. Arundel was often told by her mother about the beauty of the royal life and how terrible the royal rules. Arundel always wanted to find out about the kingdom, but her mother always denied it and said that out there was a big monster that would eat anyone who came out of this area.
I like the story. I like the kingdom. But I don't want to be a princess. I don't want to be bound by unreasonable rules, Mom.
One day, while Arundel was helping her mother and aunt look for food, Arundel heard a cry for help. The sound of an adult man whose feet are bitten by a crocodile in a swamp made her curious. When she arrived to help him, the man was already unconscious. She
Mom,
quickly
there's
told her
nothing.
mother
Come
and
here.
aunt about that.
Help me! There's someone who injured.
Oh my goodness! Let's take him to our home.
Her mother asked Arundel to take him to their house and treat him. Her mother and aunt treated the man with traditional herbs and medicinal plants in the area.
Mom, he's missing.
Oh no! Your crown is missing too, lady.
What crown?
We can't lose the crown. Don't let others know.
The next day, the man was gone. Arundel felt there was something strange about the man. Apparently, the crown of Arundel's mother disappeared. Arundel tried to chase him until she arrived in a great kingdom. She was reminded of her mother's story about the kingdom that looked like her mother's story. Arundel sneaked up to the man until at last she managed to catch the man.
Give it back to me. It belongs to my...
No, it's mine!
Why did you take my mom's crown?
The man told her about the contest that made by King Edmund. Anyone who succeeded in bringing important things from the area will be given extraordinary rewards. Arundel's home had become a restricted area for 15 years. However, after King Edward died, King Edmund made new regulations and also the competition.
Wait, who is King Edmund?
King Edmund is our king. He made the competition, lady.
Who are you?
Give the crown back to me first.
King Edmund ordered his soldiers to bring Arundel's mother and aunt to the palace.
Tell me who you are.
I am Princess Josephine, daughter of King Edward.
Princess Catherine approached Princess Josephine with teary eyes.
Josephine. Oh my god, Josephine. Where have you been? Is that you? Thank God, you're safe and still alive. Oh my god, Josephine.
What's going on in here? Why are you in here, Mom?
Okay. She is my sister. The only one you aunt.
King Edmund's mother was the older sister of Arundel's mother, Princess Josephine, was very surprised and asked them to stay in the palace even though they did not get important position in the palace. The man who stole the crown of Princess Josephine, Peter, got his reward. Day after day passed. Arundel and Peter were in love and they got married without being bound by the rules. Arundel, Peter, and also the kingdom lived happily ever after.